The PS4 may be in its twilight years, but there has never been a better time to compile some of the best offline PS4 games on the console. Whether fans are after an action-adventure game, a knockout JRPG, or an immersive open-world game, offline games are abundant on the PlayStation 4. Today on Game Rant, we're going to be ranking the 5 best offline PS4 games. At number 5, we've got Ghost of Tsushima. From the developer of the infamous series comes an exhilarating action-adventure game, Ghost of Tsushima. It plays differently from games like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, as there is a focus on action and exploration over RPG mechanics. However, Ghost of Tsushima has a lot of lore and engaging characters to interact with to help build a believable and beautiful world. Ghost of Tsushima is set during the first Mongol invasion of Japan and tells an inspiring story of how the people on the little island fought back. The duels and combat are some of the best in any generation, rivaling titles like Nioh and Sekiro for swordplay. Whether played on the PS4 or the PS5, the visuals are awe-inspiring. At number 4, we've got Persona 5 Royal. Despite the overwhelming presence of JRPGs, Persona 5 Royal manages to stay relevant. It stands out with its generously long story that never seems to grow monotonous. The Royal version includes extra story elements, quality of life improvements, new gameplay mechanics, and more. In addition, Persona 5 Royal adds a new semester to the original and new characters and confidants. It also adds the Thieves' Den, the protagonist's palace or base for personal use. The Thieves' Den doesn't play a part in the story, but small nuances like this make Persona 5 Royal unforgettable. At number 3, we've got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The enchanting world of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will keep players engaged in its content for hours on end. To put things into perspective, completing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt under a completion run takes approximately 172 hours according to HowLongToBeat.com. The main story alone is over 50 hours. Players play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster slayer for hire. His identity and purpose set the plot in motion as Geralt struggles to defeat the Wild Hunt and find his missing daughter Ciri. The Witcher 3 offers fans longevity and replayability for one of the best and most immersive worlds in gaming. At number 2, we've got The Last of Us Remastered and Last of Us Part 2. For several years, the original Last of Us was considered one of the best exclusives on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. This time, The Last of Us Part 2 steals the show as one of the most cinematic games on the system. Come for the stealth-based action gameplay, but stay for The Last of Us Part 2's riveting story. The story is emotional but not overly depressing. The Last of Us Part 2 is a long game that can take 25 hours or more for completionists. This is one of the best, if not the best, games the PlayStation 4 offers. Moreover, it still looks better than several current generation titles on the PlayStation 5. To bring the experience closer to the sequel, the first title was remade from the ground up for the PlayStation 5, so players can experience The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 back-to-back with stunning visuals and a box set-like experience. The Last of Us was also adapted into a successful HBO television series starring Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. And taking our spot at number 1, God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Kratos is back, but he's been stripped of his powers. He will still, however, remain the God of War until he is defeated. God of War 2018 is set in ancient Norway in the Midgard realm. The God of War series was initially Greek mythology before shifting its focus to Norse gods and lore. This masterpiece is renowned for its hack-and-slash gameplay as part of the action-adventure genre. The epic saga continued with God of War Ragnarok, which was even bigger and more epic than its predecessor. The character development centered on Kratos and his son is beautifully told and brilliantly acted by Christopher Judge in the role of Kratos, who brings humanity to a character that was unsympathetic during his adventures in ancient Greece. It is an epic experience deserving of the accolades it received. Played together, the God of War games are an unforgettable experience that looks and plays beautifully on the PlayStation 4. And there you have it, folks, the 5 best offline PlayStation 4 games. Thank you for tuning into Game Rant, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos.